And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show on a daily basis. 1 second, folks. Hello?
Yes, Nick, urgent dental care in Clover has a pickup. It's urgent dental care. Do you copy?
Yep, copy. Alrighty, interrupted during our intro. Alright, but yeah, if you want to watch live, twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, to YouTube, Takes by Fans. And if you just want to listen, folks, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we have you covered multiple ways, folks. Alrighty, today is a big old Thursday, and man, oh man, folks, man, oh man, what happens when we end the live? What happens when we end the show, folks? Big news comes out, and yes, the same thing happened to us yesterday, the same thing that happened to us 2 days ago with the Aaron Rodgers and the Russell Wilson news, and man, oh man, yesterday after the show, another quarterback got moved in. And this one's funny, folks. This one is comical. This one's going to be fun to talk about. This is going to be funny to talk about because they were so adamant. This football team that traded for Carson Wentz yesterday, what were they thinking, folks? I mean, they told us they were going all in on a quarterback. They were, navigating and exploring every avenue for quarterback, draft, trade, and all that. And this is what they ended up deciding on? Carson Wentz? The hell is that? So we'll talk all about that today. The Carson Wentz news and why the man just needs to fade into oblivion. But that's not happening for some reason. So we'll talk about the Carson Wentz. We have to kind of continue on our discussion on the Russell Wilson trade. Is this man even good anymore? That's kind of what we're going to be trying to find out today. Is Russell Wilson good anymore? We know Carson Wentz is not good anymore. We can all see that. But let's see. Is Russell Wilson declining? Once again, we're still trying to figure out who's the winner of this trade. Obviously, we'll know more when the season starts, but that's no fun. Be like, oh, well, let's wait 7 months. No, we want to talk about it now. We want to get to the bottom of it now. So, and we were already planning on kind of dissecting Russell Wilson a little bit later in the offseason. I did kind of want to see because we have seen the Seahawks and Russell Wilson struggle at some time. So, is Russell Wilson declining? Are these short quarterbacks not being able to have a long, successful career? And if small quarterbacks get figured out, does that kind of just mean they can't get back on it? Once a team figures out a small quarterback, they're donezo. So we'll explore Russell Wilson. We'll watch his Super Bowl year. We'll watch what he just did this season. Try to see if we're still seeing the same things that were great in that Super Bowl run. So we are continuing on part 2 of Russell Wilson. We're seeing if we can get to the Bronco or the Seahawks side of going out and trying to potentially draft Malik Willis, the quarterback. We'll try to watch him as well to once again see who really kind of won the trade early on, and then we'll obviously revisit it throughout the entire season. So that's what we've got today on the show. That's what we've got today on the show. So watching a lot of film, breaking some stuff down, exploring who wins trades and all that. But y'all already know we got to start with our NBA talk, our NBA discussion, and we are gonna have to set a nice 10-minute timer here so we don't get too into the basketball news and everything that we all just witnessed last night. So let's put 10 minutes on the clock here. We'll start with the NBA. Get that out of the way, and then we will shift gears and talk all this glorious NFL news. And man, once again, we're like week three of the NFL offseason, and man, we're getting all this great news. It's fantastic. All right, but here we go. 10 minutes on the clock. Next 10 minutes uninterrupted basketball talk of what just happened yesterday in the NBA. We got 10 minutes on the clock, and the 10 minutes start right now. All righty. Tons of games on in the NBA last night. We had 3 bets going, and our sponsor, folks, kind of letting us down, so we'll talk all of this through. So here we go. First game up, we got the Celtics and the Hornets, and the Celtics take care of business, win by 14. We were a little hesitant on taking the Celtics minus 7.5, but egg on our face, they blew that right out of the water. So Celtics doing what the Celtics do, and once again, they don't play tonight, folks, and we update our power rankings Friday in the afternoon. So Celtics, hey, you want a little bit of a spoiler alert, folks? A little bit of a wink going on for tomorrow's show. Celtics, baby, get used to calling them the best team in the NBA. Yes, start respecting this Celtics team. Jason Tatum, superstar. Jason Tatum, 44 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 66% from the field, 6 of 9 from the 3. Superstar. Yes, folks, are y'all finally coming around on Jason Tatum, superstar? It's 2 years too late, but hey, better late than never. Get on the Jason Tatum train, please, everybody. We had Jaylen Brown letting us down. He shot 1 of 8 from 3, only put up 15 points, had 5 assists and 5 rebounds. That's solid. But once again, Jason Tatum, no other kind of elite scorer. Where's that? Yeah, superstar, single-handedly carrying the Celtics team. Jason Tatum, superstar. It's like that play, that musical Jesus Christ Superstar. No. Jason Tatum, superstar. Let's get Jason Tatum on Broadway so he can star in Jesus Christ Superstar. Yes? Superstar. Yes. All right. Marcus Smart, a solid performance, 12 points, but those 9 assists, yes, sir, absolutely fantastic. 3 rebounds to go along with that. Then the bigs, Robert Williams, 11 points, 11 rebounds. Al Horford, 10 points, 10 rebounds. So both bigs getting double-doubles out here. Yeah, we'll absolutely take it. And then Derek White coming off the bench, who we can rely on. And look at this, folks, 11 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, and a plus 22 in 31 minutes. Yeah. Derek White, that great bench piece that he is, helping out the squad, really kind of their only great consistent depth out here, but the way that Jason Tatum, superstar, plays, that's all they need. So well done to the best team in the league, Celtics, beating the Hornets last night. And then for the Hornets, LaMelo Ball, the 15 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds. Once again, just LaMelo Ball has not really stepped up this year. This is the same LaMelo Ball that we saw last year that we loved, but not stepping up from year to year. That's a little concerning. So LaMelo Ball kind of letting us down this season a little bit. Terry Rozier let us down last night, 14 points on 29% shooting. Yikes. Mason Plumlee, 7 points, but those 15 boards, we'll take it. And PJ Washington and Miles Bridges in the starting lineup, both with 17 points, but come up just a little bit short because they don't got that superstar. Who's the superstar of the Hornets? Nobody. You put Jason Tatum on the Hornets, yeah, they're winning games. They're the best team in the league. Jason Tatum, superstar, has this Celtics team as the number 1 seed in the NBA, folks. I mean, what else is there to debate? Where's the hesitancy coming from on Jason Tatum, superstar? Let's all respect the man. That's really all I can say. Will you all start respecting this man? Jeez Louise. But, he does the talking on the floor, folks. So shout out to Jason Tatum, folks. Shout out to the Celtics. Shout out to everybody on the Celtics. And shout out to the head coach, folks. Absolutely love it. So Celtics get the win, folks. 115-101. Alrighty, next game up here is the Bulls at the Pistons, folks. Bulls win 114-108. And hey, we told y'all, we didn't really love the value here. This was a game that we knew the Bulls needed to win. And the Pistons, they are rising. We are loving them. They are competitive against good teams. And getting points is always a solid value. But guess what the spread was last night, folks? Pistons minus 5.5, Pistons plus 5.5, Bulls minus 5.5, and it ends up a 6-point game. We knew that wasn't good value, folks. So, and this was not a convincing win by the Bulls, folks. The Pistons had like a nice lead in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. The Bulls did fight their way back, so we do give the Bulls credit for kind of overtaking that lead in the fourth quarter and closing out the game. That's the only credit we can give the Bulls, because this was really not a convincing win by the Bulls at all. So once again, be a little wary, be a little hesitant if the national media starts to kind of get back on the Bulls because they beat the Pistons not convincingly. Once again, this Bulls team is not good, and the national media is still harping on LeBron James and the Lakers. That's what they talk about all day long. I don't understand it, folks. I get talking about LeBron and the Lakers, that's fine, but to do the same talk every single day for like an hour out of their show every single day, I just don't understand it. I mean, we've got the Pistons, we've got the Pelicans, we've got the Celtics and Jason Tatum that nobody's talking about. Can we get over the Lakers? They're trash. It's a trash team. Why are we giving them all of our attention? Who cares? LeBron James couldn't be clutch last night. Truly unfortunate. Russell Westbrook had a good game. They still lose, and y'all still talk about it. Like, can we be done with the Lakers? Man, I get it. It gets the clicks. It's the big names. It's the national media. It's legacy media. It's boomer thinking. All right, they're all coming to an end. Can we all move on, folks? Jeez. All right. But the Bulls, this is not a convincing win, folks. DeMar DeRozan, he had 36 points, 8 rebounds, shot 48%. Zach LaVine, 25 points. Vucevic, 21.6 rebounds. Pretty solid work by him. We had Ayo still at the 1, 9.7 assists. Kobe White coming off the bench still, 8 points on 33% shooting, 3 assists, let us down a little bit. And then Tristan Thompson got some play, another good big out here, 5 points, 4 rebounds. But this was not a convincing win by the Bulls. They had the lead. They lost it for the majority of the game. The Pistons couldn't close out the game, and that's the biggest knock that we have on the Pistons right now. But hey, to go kind of toe-to-toe with this Bulls team that does show glimpses of being a good team. Once again, we're not overreacting, and we're still going to be betting on this Pistons team. This is not going to waver our thinking on the Pistons. No, not at all, folks. So, Cade Cunningham, 22 points, 6 assists. We had Jeremy Grant, only 12 points last night. That's a little lackluster. Sadiq Bey, 12 points. That's a little lackluster. Once again, they didn't have Isaiah Stewart, and the Bulls still almost couldn't beat them. I mean, this is what we're talking about with the Bulls. I mean, we put Isaiah Stewart out there. Yeah, this is probably a Pistons win. So, once again, we're not off the Pistons team. We still love the Pistons. This is still a legitimate team that you can bet on, especially when they're getting points. So, yeah, the Bulls win, but not convincing. So do we even care? I don't. Bulls win 114-108. Not a good team still. All right, next game up here is the Suns at the Heat. Devin Booker back, and that's enough to get the win. And this was Heat coming out hot and kind of fading real bad down the stretch. I mean, the Suns really just opened it up kind of like midway third quarter, and the Heat just could not catch up. So this Heat team, folks, have truly fallen, and the Suns still getting it done shorthanded, so we give them credit. But the Suns win 111-90. Devin Booker, 23 points in his game back, so we give him credit. And then for the Heat, Duncan Robinson, he put up 22 points, and that was good, and they really got him started hot. I mean, he started like 3 for 3 in like the first 3 minutes of the game, folks. Really just coming out hot, firing from 3. Shot 6 of 11 for the 22 points, led the team in scoring. Tyler Hero, 17 points coming off the bench. No Jimmy Butler last night. That hurts some. Victor Oladipo coming off the bench, 4 points. But this Heat team was not great last night. Man, oh man. But the Suns get the win, 111-90. Then we get the Hawks and the Bucks, and we broke our rule of not betting back-to-back games, but this was a special occasion because we know this Hawks team is not even a good team, so the Bucks obviously will win, and it was only -4.5. We knew that was so great value, folks, and what happened? They win by 9, 124-115, cover the -4.5 very convincingly. The Hawks, I don't think, led at all this game, and if they did, it was kind of in that first, 3-minute window when, the score is 0-0, so you can get a lead pretty easily there. So the Bucks absolutely dominate them. This Hawks team, they're not a good team, folks. I'm ready to say this Hawks team is not good. Truly unfortunate, especially what we just saw last year with Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young and all that. But for the Bucks last night, Giannis does his thing, 43 points, 12 rebounds. Bobby Portis, 23 points, 15 rebounds. Chris Middleton, 23 points, 8 assists. It's just all fantastic by this kind of makeshift little big three that they've got going in Milwaukee with Bobby Portis is still in the starting lineup. And then for the Hawks, we had Trae Young, 27 points, 11 assists, solid, just not enough. And that's what this Hawks team is. It's always just not enough here, and it was just not enough last night. So glad that the Bucks win. Glad that we don't kind of get, smacked in the face by taking the Bucks on the back-to-back. But sometimes it's okay to break the rules, especially when the value is great. And Bucks -4.5, folks. I don't care who they're facing. I don't care if they're on a triple back-to-back. I don't care if they've played 10 straight games. I am taking the Bucks -4.5 any day of the week, and we cash in last night on that. So Bucks get the win, 124-115. Next game up here, we get the Lakers and the Rockets, and the Rockets win in overtime. This Lakers team just lost to the Rockets, folks. This is in the national media still talking about the Lakers. If any team loses against the Rockets, they should not be talked about for the entire rest of the season, folks. They honestly should lose their right to even step on a basketball floor for the remainder of the season, folks. But the national media likes to reward the Lakers being absolute trash for some reason. That is our 10 minutes, so we got to fly by for the rest of the games here. But Lakers lose in overtime because LeBron James just couldn't get it done. He had 2 opportunities here, 20 seconds left, tie game, 120-120. LeBron driving, a fadeaway shot does not go. And then a little bit later, they get the ball. LeBron James still tied at 120, drives to the bucket, draws the double team, shoots it out to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony for the game-winning 3. That does not go. So LeBron couldn't be clutch. Carmelo Anthony couldn't be clutch. And then in overtime, I think the Rockets went on like a 12-0 run to start overtime, and the game's over at that point. So Rockets get the win with Alperen Sengun being the leading scorer with 21 points, 14 rebounds. So no Christian Wood. And the Lakers still lose, folks. I mean, come on. Come on, folks. Trash. LeBron, 23 points, 12 assists, 14 rebounds, triple-double. Russell Westbrook, 30 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, only 2 turnovers, only a -2 on the floor. LeBron's a -17, and that's why they lose. So, Rockets beat the Lakers, folks. That's alarming. Big time alarming. Rockets get the win, 139-130. Then we get the Thunder at the Timberwolves. Timberwolves blow them out by 30 points, 132-130. Anthony Edwards, 16 points. Still a little lackluster. Come on, Anthony Edwards, 2 of 8 from 3. This is not you. Karl Anthony Towns, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns not putting up any points. And then D'Angelo Russell, 6 points. He did have 12 assists. We love that. But once again, they're able to put up 133 points, folks, without Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and D'Angelo Russell really doing anything. They combined for like 30 points. I mean, where's the other 100 coming from? This is why this Timberwolves team is impressive. And once again, the national media just wants to talk about the Lakers. Can we start talking about Jason Tatum being a superstar? Can we start talking about this Timberwolves team being really, really good? Can we start talking about the Pistons, folks? Yes, finally getting it all figured out here, folks. There's more stuff to talk about than just the big names. I promise y'all, we do it here in hour 40 every single day. And do you think we run out of ideas or run out of topics or run out of players to talk about, folks? I think we keep everything pretty much fresh every single day. We're not out here saying the same thing every single day, folks. I think it's pretty fresh. It seems fresh. Let me know if it's not fresh. I need to know if it's not fresh, surely, so I can freshen it up. But, man, oh, man, I mean, there's stuff to talk about. But they all just want to talk about LeBron. And LeBron, because it gets clicks, and the clicks sell the ads, and the ads make the money, and the money's the only thing that matters. We get it, but that's legacy media. That's just boomer, outdated thinking. We can all move on. Yes, we all love LeBron, and we love LeBron talk, but it's enough at some point, and I think we've reached that point, folks, but... Who are we, right? Who are we? Who are we, folks, right? Why, we're not big. I wish we would be big. We're striving to be big, but we're not big at the current moment, so maybe we're doing it wrong. All right, Takes by Fans is going to turn into the Lakers channel for the rest of our existence. We will only talk about the Lakers, and I think we'll make money while doing that, so we may have to sell out here, folks. We may have to sell out and only talk about the Lakers. So if we're all Lakers yellow, if we only talk about the Lakers here, don't be surprised, okay? But Timberwolves get the win because Malik Beasley, 33 points. Teron Prince, 17 points. Naz Reid coming off the bench, 12 points here. Jaden McDaniels, 12 points in the starting lineup. So they're able to get like 100 points out of everybody besides the big 3. This is why we love the Timberwolves, especially as of recently, the last 3, 4, 5 games. Everybody besides the big 3 have been consistent, have been able to step up here, and I am absolutely all here for it. So Timberwolves get the big win, 132-102, and we'll see if they climb in the power rankings tomorrow, folks, but you better expect it. All right, next game up, we get the Magic at the Pelicans. Magic get the win, 108-102 over the Pelicans. Now, this is a bad loss by the Pelicans, even without Brandon Ingram. Once again, no Brandon Ingram. We're not going to overreact on this Pelicans loss. We really need to see them at full strength. That's why we love the Pelicans, because they are at full strength. We don't love the Pelicans because of their depth emerging, like we love the Timberwolves for that reason. So, still a bad loss regardless, because it is the Magic. But we will give them a little benefit of the doubt here. here by having no Brandon Ingram, because Tony Snell fills in for Brandon Ingram and the man did nothing. The man played 31 minutes and did absolutely nothing. Took 4 shots, missed them all, didn't get to the free throw line, 0 points. He put up 2 steals, 1 rebound, and 1 turnover. He was a 0 on the floor, a plus minus of a 0. The man did absolutely zilch out there, folks. So this is why we give them a little crumb of the benefit of the doubt here of losing to the Magic last night. Valanciunas, though, 30 points, 15 rebounds. He did his thing. CJ McCollum, 32 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. He did his thing. And then we had Herbert Jones with a solid 15 points. So this is why we still like the Pelicans. They just need their big three. The two of the big three members that were playing last night, Valanciunas and McCollum, got it done. So this is why we're not overreacting to this Pelicans loss. Let's all take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. I know y'all are chomping at the bit to be like, oh, well, you just told us that, the Timberwolves are, the Pelicans are, trending up and should be on your betting radar. And then they just lost and didn't cover the last 2 games. Yes, they didn't have Brandon Ingram. Okay. We're not endorsing this Pelicans team. We never told you to bet the Pelicans with no Brandon Ingram, folks. Okay. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. Okay. We still like the Pelicans. We still like the Pistons, even though they haven't covered, I think, in the last 2 games both. But they are still on our betting radar. It's still good value. We'll let you know when to take it. All right, and then for the Magic last night, they did get it done. Cole Anthony, 19 points, 5 assists. All right, Cole Anthony had a really bad game 2 nights ago. Good game this night. All right. Still got to see the consistency out of Cole Anthony before we truly get behind this Magic team. It's not going to happen this season. I can guarantee you that, but there's like 15 games left. We're not going to get big on this Magic team, but maybe. And then maybe for next season, but until then, Franz Wagner, 15 points. We had Wendell Carter, 13 points. Gary Harris coming off the bench, 16 big old points, helping out, and it's enough to get it done. They win 108-102. Then we get the Knicks at the Mavericks, and sheesh, man, oh man, this Knicks team, are they starting to turn a corner, folks? 3 straight wins and a dominant win over the Magic last night, winning 107-77. A 30-point win last night, folks. So I'm going to leave this up to y'all, folks. I think we're going to watch one more game by the Knicks, keeping them as our sponsor, and then I'm going to leave it up to y'all. I'll put up the poll on Twitter, after the Knicks' last game. If they do win, I'm going to leave it up to y'all. Do we keep the Knicks as our sponsor for the rest of the season, or do we kind of cut it short here? We made a killing already. We don't want to lose all those profits during this kind of 3-4 game winning streak here, so we'll see if the Knicks are a legit, real good, emerging, turning the corner team, because if they are, we got to get out of this contract, folks. So I'm leaving it up to y'all, but we're going to give it one more game to truly see and truly make sure that this Knicks team is starting to kind of peek around the corner a little bit. But this was a real dominant win last night by the Knicks, beating them by 30. We had Julius Randle, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Evan Fournier, still only 10 points, no assists. Alec Burks, 15 points. He had 5 assists and 11 rebounds. That was really, really good. Not efficient, not the most efficient, 30% shooting. RJ Barrett with a nice 18 points, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5, 11 points, 11 rebounds. We love that. And then for the Mavericks last night, Luka Doncic, 31 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, shot 3 of 11 from the 3. I needed him to hit 5 or more, so he let me down there last night. And then everything else really lackluster. The only other double-digit scorer was Spencer Dinwiddie. And why is Spencer Dinwiddie coming off the bench now? We just had him in the starting lineup at the 2, right? And he was really, really good, and the Mavericks won that game. So I don't get why they moved Spencer Dinwiddie down to the bench. 13 points. Once again, the only other scorer besides Luka Doncic to put up double-digit points. I mean, we had Maxi Kleber coming off the bench, 0 of 7 from the field. What the hell is going on here? So Mavericks couldn't get it done. Knicks did. Knicks get the win by 30, 107-77. Then we get the Raptors at the Spurs. Raptors win, trying to get back on track here. A nice 15-point win for the Raptors, winning 119-104. For the Raptors last night, basically having everybody good to go. Still no OG Anunoby, but, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, Siakam, all good to go. So Fred VanVleet, 26 points, 2 assists. Gary Trent Jr., 17 points. We had Siakam and Scotty Barnes both with 20 points and 8 rebounds each. That was fantastic. And with Precious coming off the bench with nice 13 points production there, helping out the Raptors get the win. And then for the Spurs, DeJounte Murray did his thing, 25 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. DeJounte Murray is so gosh dang good, folks. Man, oh man, start respecting DeJounte Murray a little bit more instead of talking about LeBron James being absolutely absolute garbage in this Lakers team. Well, let me not call LeBron James absolute garbage. The Lakers are absolute garbage. LeBron tries his hardest. But yeah, talk about DeJounte Murray. Talk about Keldon Johnson putting up 27 points, 8 rebounds last night. So talk about that. Jacob Poeltl, a big that nobody even knows. 11 points, 12 rebounds last night, trying to help out, but the Spurs come up a little bit short. So Raptors win 119-104. Then we get the Trailblazers at the Jazz. Jazz light them up, 123-85 win. Once again, for the Blazers, no Anthony Simons, so no scoring, no facilitating. I mean, the leading assister on this Blazers team was Keon Johnson with 5 assists. This is what we're talking about with the Blazers, folks. They have no facilitator without Anthony Simons, and they definitely don't have any scoring. We know. They've lost all their pieces. Nurkic out, McCollum gone, Powell gone. And Anthony Simons, he's their only other good, decent player. So him being out, folks, is truly, you got to stay away from betting the Blazers and actively bet against them. For the Jazz last night, getting it done, Donovan Mitchell, 16 points. Rudy Gobert, only 9 points, 10 rebounds. Bojan Bogdanovic, 27 big old points here. And then it was just kind of, solid scoring all throughout. Trent Forrest, 8 points. Hassan Whiteside off the bench, 6 points. Jordan Clarkson off the bench, only 8 points last night. Real shocking, right? Jordan Clarkson only playing 15 minutes and putting up 8 points. That's not like him. Rudy Gay, 9 points last night. So it was just everybody kind of chipping in a little bit here, and that's enough, obviously, to beat the Blazers by about 40, 123-85. Last 2 games here, Nuggets at the Kings, a game that we bet on. Nuggets minus 4.5. They win by 6. Bingo, bango. Nuggets get the win, 106-100 over the Kings. Jokic, 38 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists, MVP. We know this. Monte Morris, 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Aaron Gordon, once again, classic, 11 points on 10 shots. Not that offensive dominant, but we had Bryn Forbes for that, folks. 11 points coming off the bench. We absolutely love that. Bones Highland did not play, so they didn't get that kind of second producer coming off the bench that we are used to, Bryn Forbes and Bones Highland. But Nuggets enough to get it done over the Kings last night. And then once again, classic Kings. Sabonis didn't even play last night, and he still carries the curse. He's already infected this Kings team. It's really unfortunate. So we had Alex Len at the starting 5, 4 points, 2 rebounds in only 2 minutes. De'Aaron Fox with a solid 32 points, 10 assists. Man, oh man, once again, De'Aaron Fox is truly being wasted here in Sacramento. But Jokic MVP gets it done, folks, winning 106-100. And then the final game from last night, Wizards at the Clippers. Clippers win by 6, 115-109. Wizards blew this game, folks. Kyle Kuzma, 17 points, 6 rebounds, not enough to get it done. Porzingis, 19 points, only 1 rebound. The big with only 1 rebound. You see where the problem is here, folks, with Porzingis hates being down low. Off the bench, Rui Hachimura with 18 points, Daniel Gafford with 14 points, but once again, just beefing it in the fourth quarter, allowing the Clippers to come back and win the game. Reggie Jackson, 31 points, 7 assists, clutch shots in the fourth quarter to help with the comeback. Marcus Morris back on track here. We've seen some lackluster games by him as of recently, but back up to that 27 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds that we know he can do. And then Zubac, a nice 10 points, 9 rebounds. Luke Kennard coming off the bench with 19 points, helping out as well. So Clippers come back and to win 115-109. Still not big on the Clippers. Wizards are an up and down team. No bettability here either way. And but the Clippers get the win. Alrighty, that is all the NBA from last night. Now let's see what we have on tap tonight in the NBA. There's only 2 games on, folks, so the value, we hope we see it. But 1 second, folks. Excuse us. Hello?
Hey, Nick, how busy are you?
Not too busy.
Okay, because there is a case at the Sibley Towers that has to go to Eastman Elmwood. Are you familiar at all with Eastman and Elmwood?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know it's not your Sibley. Okay, let me see if I can't work something out with South. I'll get back to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, here we go. We are back at it. Once again, sorry for the interruptions, folks. 2 times today, geez Louise, and there's probably going to be a little bit more, so truly apologize there. But here we go. Betting on the NBA tonight, folks. What do we got? Only 2 games on, so let's make it count. Yes, folks, let's make it count. Got to make the day count, especially when there's only 2 games on, but here we go. First game up here, and this is the game that I think we're all waiting for here. Nets at the 76ers. Nets plus 4.5. 76ers minus 4.5. The James Harden, Ben Simmons trade, obviously, so Nets. 76ers, James Harden wants to win, Kyrie Irving wants to win, Kevin Durant wants to win, to be like, hey, you left, this is on you, why'd you leave, we're dominating you, now you thought you were going to leave and be better than us, what are you, crazy? James Harden wants to win, to be like, hey, yeah, y'all were holding me back, y'all weren't playing, y'all were holding me back, here I am with Joel Embiid, who is out on the floor 24/7, so yeah, what's good? So a big game here, a 4.5 point spread, sheesh, alrighty. Let's see the ins and outs here for the Nets. LaMarcus Aldridge is out, and Ben Simmons is being a little bit of a puss here, folks. Ben Simmons not playing in this game. This is a game to play in. This is the game where you shouldn't be making your debut. Hey, I'm going to go and beat the ass of my former team because they just humiliated me. And it's in Philadelphia. The fans were humiliating Ben Simmons. That's why he left, because he got his feelings hurt. And you don't play the game? You don't play this game, feeding right into all their narratives? The hell is that? So, absolutely hate Ben Simmons for not playing in this game tonight. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's, once again, it's a little bit of a puss move, so, but that's classic Ben Simmons a little bit, yeah. And then for the 76ers, everybody's good to go, but Danny Green is out here. So here we go. I'm taking the 76ers minus 4.5 here, folks. We've been laughing ever since the trade. Ever since that trade happened, we've been laughing at the Nets and really kind of laughing at a lot of people that believe that the Nets won that trade and all that. So we're ready to once again put our money where our mouth is, folks. We don't say nonsense on the show. We don't say things just for shock value alone. Everything that I ever say, I truly believe in, and I do back it up by betting on what I say, because I believe in that. I started the show because I believe in everything I say here. So, we don't say things for nonsense here, folks. So, 76ers, let's swallow the 4.5 here. James Harden at home, Joel Embiid at home, ready. And Ben Simmons is going to be on the bench. We will be at the game. He will be on the bench. He is just not playing. So, it could get a little heated overall in this game. The fans going crazy. The fans have been going crazy with Russell Westbrook, even though that Russell Westbrook doesn't want to be called that. So we know how fans can be. We know how people can be. You don't think it's going to get a little mouthy there? Is it 76ers? Is that still Wells Fargo Arena? Or am I outdated? I don't know. These stadium changes. What the hell? They're all crypto names. We had the Lakers, Staples Center. That changes to freaking crypto.com arena. Like, okay. The stadium names and the whole crypto market truly taking over everything. It kind of seems like it's like a scam now that everybody gets into it. I would stay away from crypto. I stay away from cryptos and NFT ever since they took over Staples, because the fact that they're able to advertise and get the Lakers arena, it's just too big at this point. It's when Matt Damon is telling everybody, hey, future favor fortunes, whatever. We all know the Matt Damon commercial. Fortune favors the brave. There it is. Fortune favors the brave. It's a little bit too big now. Stay away from crypto. It's a giant scam, folks. It's a scam. It's got to be. But we digress. 76ers minus 4.5 here. Absolutely going to take that. James Harden, Joel Embiid ready to get it done. And Tyrese Maxey ready to shine and be like, hey, I'm the big three here as well. Let's start respecting me. So 76ers minus 4.5. We're taking it here, folks. Going to be a great game. It's nationally televised, TNT 7:30. So go and watch that. Absolutely. Big game on tonight. Watch it, folks. All right, and then the last game here, we got the Warriors at the Nuggets. Nuggets on the back-to-back, so we do stay away from this. This is the doubleheader, second game of the doubleheader on TNT, so 2 games on, and they're all nationally televised. Yeah, I'm all about that tonight. So, Warriors -2, Nuggets +2, Nuggets on the back-to-back. No, thank you. We'll stay away from it. So only having a little one lone pick here tonight, folks, but no big deal. So 76ers -4.5, feeling really good about it. No believability in Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant, they'll probably be ball dominant here because they want to prove to James Harden. So once again, the Nets aren't going to have that kind of floor general, that leadership tonight, because it's all going to go to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's head. Hey, we must win this game. We just, James Harden just left us. We can't lose to that now. There's too much pride. We know Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they have a lot of pride to them. They know they cannot lose this game because they all follow social media so closely, folks. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they know they cannot lose this game. They will get absolutely blasted. So they be a little ball dominant, a little bit too aggressive here, and that may be their downfall. Also, we know the 76ers at the current moment are playing four full quarters of great basketball from start to finish and getting it done. So winning in the fourth quarter and all that. So I'm saying the 76ers outlast the Nets here, and I am feeling good about them -4.5 here. Alrighty, that is all the NBA we had to go over for today. So now let's shift gears to the NFL, where we got to talk about some stuff out here, folks. But before we talk about anything in the NFL, folks, we have to revisit this. And it pains me. Once again, I almost didn't do this, but we did set a little bit of an ultimatum for this man, Kevin Patra. He's a little bit on our wanted list at the current moment for being so gosh dang disrespectful, folks. One of the most. And here we go, folks, another call. Truly unfortunate. Excuse us. Hello?
Yeah, Nick, if you could go to Simply Towers and grab that, you don't have to go down Elmwood, but when you come back from your run, can you hand that directly to me?
Yep, I can do that.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Alrighty, that should do it for all the calls here, folks. So we should be good for the rest of the show. And we don't have to cut the show short. I was a little worried about that. But we are all good. And once again, I truly apologize for all these calls. Tuesdays, Thursdays, folks. It's unfortunate. Once again, subscribe to the Patreon and we don't have to take the calls. You know what I mean? Okay. But here we go. Digressing. We got to talk about this man, folks. Kevin Patra put out the most disrespectful one sentence, folks. All it takes is one sentence to go from okay to disrespectful as heck. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday. Kevin Patra writing for NFL.com talking about Mitchell Trubisky, and he had a quote there, folks, saying, we're not even sure if Mitchell Trubisky is better than Mason Rudolph, folks, and it set us off because we know Mason Rudolph is the worst quarterback of all time. Screw Ryan Leaf, the #1 draft pick in, 2004 did that happen? Ryan Leaf went #1. It was the biggest bust in NFL history. Mason Rudolph is worse than him, folks, and who knows, who cares where Mason Rudolph went drafted? Wherever he got drafted, he should be undrafted. And even if he was undrafted, that is still too high to be taking him undrafted. Send him down to the gutter. That's where he truly belongs. But so yeah, we had Kevin Patra writing for NFL.com, put that on there, and we told him, hey, I'm demanding. We don't get too demanding on the show, folks, but we have to pull out some cards here and there. I demanded Kevin Patra retract that sentence because it was so blasphemous, because it was so disrespectful. But so before we talk about anything else here in the NFL, let's see if Kevin Patra agreed to our demand, met our demand, and pulled this down. Because if he didn't, folks, the next step is going to have to be writing a letter. And we're going to have to be that Karen, folks, and write a letter, because I cannot let this slide, folks. This is so egregious. It's just too egregious, folks. I'm telling y'all. I almost couldn't sleep last night, folks. I almost was up all last night because Kevin Patra was so disrespectful. Not that he was just disrespectful to Mitchell Trubisky, but the fact that he was kind of praising Mason Rudolph a little bit. I mean, that's kind of the undertone, the under theme of that sentence. Yeah, Mitchell Trubisky's not good, but also, Mason Rudolph might be good. No, there is no glimmer, there is no glimpse of Mason Rudolph ever being good. So the fact that you would even compare a starting quarterback in this league to the worst quarterback of all time, it's just too disrespectful. So that's where we have the big issue with the man. So let's see, folks, did he retract, rewrite, rephrase, reformat that sentence? So here we go, folks. We're going to read it. We'll read it one at a time. One word at a time, unveiling one word at a time here. So here we go. Let me get to it. Here we get to it. Are we getting to it? Is this it? Hang on. I don't want to see it. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Did Kevin Patra come to his senses? Maybe do a little bit more research here, because saying this is just, it really should qualify Kevin Patra to be fired. I mean, that's what's going to be in the letter, folks. I am going to demand that Kevin Patra is fired. It's unfortunate. I don't want to cause anybody to lose their job, but when you're talking like this, when you're in the sports world and talking about this, you just go up to one random stranger on the street to be like, hey, who would you rather have? Mitchell Trubisky or Mason Rudolph? That's fine if they said Mason Rudolph, because they don't know what they're talking about, folks. You pick this man up off the street. Do you think a random person knows what they're talking about? Of course not, folks, okay? But Kevin Patra hired here. We've read stuff by Kevin Patra before, and I'm almost certain, folks. I couldn't find it. I tried to go back and find it, but I couldn't find it. I guess I could try to find it here, but I'm almost certain Kevin Patra has kind of ruffled our feathers a little bit before being disrespectful. I couldn't remember, but I know there was another NFL writer that was disrespectful as heck, and I want to say it was Kevin Patra. Let me see. If I can find it really quickly here, folks. Let me search a different keyword in my account. Can I bring it up like this? Disrespect. I gotta spell it right, first of all. Disrespect. We've said disrespect a lot of times on our channel. But let me see if I can find this quickly. Kevin Patra. What do you got? Anybody else writing here? All right, might not be able to find it. Too many clips to truly go over with disrespect. Man, we say disrespect a lot, folks, but that's what it is, folks. We call out disrespect on the show, folks. I can't stand the disrespect sometimes. All right, so not going to be able to find it, but I'm almost certain this is Kevin Patra's second offense, and this offense is so much worse than the first one, if there was the first one. But either way, Kevin Patra, we will be writing to NFL.com asking for you to resign or to be fired, because this is just nonsense. But here we go. Let's see. Here it is. Unscrolling, unveiling word for word here. Please retract this. Say Dwayne Haskins. Because maybe then I could maybe find and work with you. Oh, maybe Mitchell Trubisky's not as good as Dwayne Haskins. It's still disrespectful, but it's not as disrespectful as comparing him to Mason Rudolph. So here we go. Please fix your mistake, Kevin Patra. We do not want to see you fired, but here we go. Pittsburgh, which has money to spend and a need at quarterback following Ben Roethlisberger's retirement, is another possible destination. Though it's debatable how much of an upgrade Trubisky would be over Mason Rudolph. The man still has it in here. So we are forced. You're leaving us no choice. We are forced. Our hands are tied. Kevin Patra, we will be coming for your job. It's unfortunate, but we gave you the chance. You didn't take it. You spit in our face. You spit in Mitchell Trubisky's almost perfectly cut. I mean, this is a chiseled face, folks. I mean, we're talking about Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback, not the greatest, but man, oh man, that is a handsome man right there. Look, do you see this jawline right here? How do you disrespect this? I can't say anything bad about Mitchell Trubisky. How can you say something bad about this, man? Look at this face. Look at that. That's almost perfect, folks. Almost perfect. So, Kevin Patra, it's unfortunate, but your time has come in this industry. It's just not working. It's just not working out, okay? Oh, man, so disappointed in the man. So disappointed in Kevin Patra. All right. But here we go. More stuff to talk about here. And here it is. Another quarterback on the move. And this one is just too funny, folks. What the hell? This is what we're talking about, folks. Can we just stop? Can we stop with the recycling of garbage, expecting them to not be garbage anymore? Can we start to find some other quarterbacks here? And we're going to talk about some other options. But here we go. Another big old trade here involving a little bit of a face of the franchise guy. He was the face of the franchise guy at his first job, and then they moved off of this man really quickly here. But here we go. Colts are trading quarterback Carson Wentz to Washington for a package of picks that is thought to include 2 third-round picks. We do have the compensation here, so let's talk about that. And this is where it's not too bad for the Colts, but still, they didn't give up anything big, so that's good. They gave up a third-round pick this season, a third-round pick next year that can become a second if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the plays, and the way that, they play in Washington, I'm sure he gets injured. Yes, he was able to be healthy for the most part here, had a little tweak in week 3. We're going to talk about that. But the Colts, they had a good offensive line. That's why their running game was so good. Washington, the offensive line is good, but it's not as good as the Colts. So, this was a good clause here by the Colts to put that in there. Oh, if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps, which he won't because he's going to get injured. This was the outlier season by Carson Wentz, folks. The one season where he didn't kind of get injured that kept him out multiple games. Still got injured, still took him out of a game that they ended up losing. And once again, we're going to talk about that because once again, hey, they were only one game out from making the playoffs. So every game truly counts. Yes, we can all truly focus on that Week 17 game the Week 18 game against the Jaguars because that was obviously the most egregious, but we can also trace it back a little bit to that Week 3 game that he got injured. So this was a great clause. Hey, this could be a second-round pick, but it's not going to be a second-round pick. Carson Wentz is not playing 70% of the plays next season. No way. The man gets injured, probably early on. Third-round pick this season, a third-round pick that can turn into a second-round pick next season, and then a second-round pick this season as well. So second and third this season, third next season, that turns into a second potentially. Then Washington gets Carson Wentz, and then a 2022 second-round pick. So they kind of swapped second-round picks of this year's draft. Now, for the Colts, they don't have a number 1 pick this season. So this is really where it turns into a little bit of a question mark because we know the quarterback market is not good at the current moment. There's really no great college quarterbacks. There's some decent free agent quarterbacks that we're going to talk about in a second here. But the Colts, once again, quarterback plug and play away from kind of going the distance here, and you don't got a first round pick to kind of help and maybe sweeten some deals to make another trade or anything like that. So Colts at the current moment are quarterback list. We do not believe in who they got. Sam Eason at number 2. That man was not good. We watched that man. He had his opportunities, never got it done. Who's their kind of other one? Let's get their depth chart up here. They truly are going to have to go and find another quarterback. Absolutely. Sam Ehlinger and James Morgan. James Morgan, he's from the Jets. So Sam Ehlinger, we don't believe in. James Morgan, we don't really believe in either. We'll maybe try to find something good about the man, but it's not happening. So Sam Ehlinger, James Morgan, obviously you got to upgrade to them. So let's talk about, potential other quarterbacks. We get this right here. Colts expected to be in the mix for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Once again, we were really not sure if Jimmy Garoppolo is actually going to be traded or not, but, once again, going to be kind of not throwing for, 12 weeks or something like that. So it's going to be tough for the Colts to truly commit to Jimmy Garoppolo, but anything's better than what they've got currently, and anything is better than Carson Wentz. So watch out for the Colts to be a big player for Jimmy G if the 49ers do decide to trade Jimmy G. Once again, we're kind of in the midst. I don't think it's as clear-cut as everybody's making it seem to be, especially right after the season ended, of the 49ers trading away Jimmy G. I still think they're kind of a little hesitant of starting Trey Lance, which I believe is the right decision. We've been championing Trey Lance to not play since he ever got drafted, so we'll see what happens here, but expect the Colts, if Jimmy G is actually available, watch for the Colts to make a run for Jimmy G. But we also have other free agent quarterbacks, and so let's talk about these quarterbacks and see, are these quarterbacks better than Carson Wentz? The first one we have is Jameis Winston. Yes, I take Jameis Winston over Carson Wentz any day of the week. Jameis Winston slings the ball. We know Carson Wentz slings the ball, but Carson Wentz looks so bad slinging the ball. And, those deep throws, not on target, not accurate. We see Jameis Winston throwing 40-yard bombs, 50-yard bombs that are truly on target. Obviously, the one downfall on Jameis Winston is all the interceptions, but at least we get positive production still out of Jameis Winston while throwing all those interceptions. Because we're going to talk about, let's talk about this, because I am all over the place here. A lot of stuff to talk about here, but this really brings it up because everybody is still big on Carson Wentz. Can we stop being big on Carson Wentz, folks? The man is not good anymore. Everybody else is still holding out hope, and you know why, folks? You know why everybody is holding out hope of Carson Wentz and still wanting to give him the benefit of the doubt? We're done with the benefit of the doubt. Carson Wentz is trash. He's garbage. I still take Carson Wentz over Mason Rudolph, but the race is really kind of close actually now. So, Carson Wentz is like the second worst quarterback in NFL history, folks. I mean, that's what that means. So, why everybody is still holding out hope on Carson Wentz being good, which is just absolutely insane, folks. And this is the one stat that everybody brings up, folks. It's trash, but they still bring it up, folks. Well, he only threw 7 interceptions. He keeps the turnovers down. Okay, I'm sick of the interception talk. Everybody loves to kind of say, oh, a quarterback's great because they don't throw the picks. Who's number one? Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't throw any picks, and everybody gushes over him. Well, him and Carson Wentz have the same amount of Super Bowl rings. So what does that tell you? You want to be in the same conversation as Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers because you throw no interceptions? Once again, you don't risk it, you don't get the biscuit, and that's what these low number of interceptions mean. They're not making those big time throws when they need to make those big time throws in big time games to win games, secure a win, secure a playoff spot like Carson Wentz couldn't do. So spare me with, oh, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. That doesn't mean anything to me, folks. It doesn't. Throw the interceptions, that's fine. We can judge interceptions. Interceptions is not the end all be all if a quarterback is good or not, or making right decisions or not. It just shows that they are a little aggressive, maybe a little bit more aggressive than others. But Patrick Mahomes, can we talk about that? Y'all want to talk interception numbers? Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes interceptions, shall we, folks? Yes, because that man just got to the AFC Championship game this season and lost it, unfortunately. But Patrick Mahomes had 13 interceptions. That was like top 5 in the league, maybe even top 3. So what are we talking about with interceptions? You've got to take the entire body of work. Stop just bringing up interceptions. It's really kind of a mute stat on its own. I got to see everything else with it. You know what changes? You know what separates the bad interceptions from the good interceptions? Or really just kind of focusing in on that interception number, the completion percentage. So if you're going to talk interception, bring up completion percentage along with that, because Patrick Mahomes had 13 picks, but he also threw for 66% completion percentage, which is absolutely fantastic. Where Carson Wentz, the man threw 7, but only 62% completion percentage. So even on the good passes, he wasn't even good. So stop with just the interception numbers, folks. It's so much more than that. And you throwing a low amount of interceptions does not mean anything, folks. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed a win. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed a playoff spot. It's really just showing, oh, you're just not throwing really kind of aggressively. You're not taking those deeper shots down the field, challenging the defense, taking those one-on-one opportunities that could potentially turn into interceptions. There is a right time and a wrong time in the games where you can take those shots. And Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers, they don't take those shots when needed. So stop with the interception numbers, folks. Stop it. That's why everybody is still giving I'm telling y'all, folks, listen to when people give Carson Wentz, oh no, Carson Wentz is going to be good in Washington. Oh, Carson Wentz is still going to be good and he's still competitive and he's still, he's starting caliber quarterback in this league. No, he's not, folks. No, he is not. Stop it with the interception. That's everybody's point, is that low interception number. Nobody else can say anything else about Carson Wentz, positive at least. They always bring up the one lone fact that he doesn't throw that many interceptions, and that means nothing. Aaron Rodgers does the same thing. What does that do? You flounder in the playoffs. Well, Carson Wentz can't even stay healthy to the playoffs, or can't even get to the playoffs. So the low interceptions mean absolutely nothing. And we are going to watch all of his interceptions at the end here, because we're going to go and knock Carson Wentz as we've been doing so far. So stop with the low interception numbers. All right, we talked about compensation here, and this is funny now because Carson Wentz, we've seen him go from Philadelphia to the Colts and now the Colts to Washington, and every time he gets traded, the compensation gets worse and worse and worse and worse here, and it is comical, and Nick Wright brings it up here. So in 2016, Philadelphia trades 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick to get up to the point where they can draft a quarterback early on, and they chose chose Carson Wentz. Then, when Philadelphia traded him to the Colts only traded 1 first and 1 third round pick to acquire Carson Wentz. And now he's gone from a first and a third round pick to 2 third round picks. So, a second pick swap and a 2 third round picks. So, it's just comical how Carson Wentz just keeps declining in value, but everybody else is still talking him up. And, he was our early, we talked him up this season. We still believed in him this offseason, this past offseason. The Colts were our Super Bowl favorites all the way up until week 3 when we saw Carson Wentz get injured, and then it just came clear to us. This is actually what the man is. We have to know when the quarterbacks are truly showing us what they actually are compared to like a fraud season or compared to what just when quarterbacks show you who they actually are, folks, that's when you have to truly cut ties. And Carson Wentz throwing those 15 interceptions his last season in Philadelphia, still being injured and still being inaccurate. This is who Carson Wentz is. He is not going to get any better from here on out. You went into the absolute perfect situation. The situation could not get any more perfect for Carson Wentz with the Colts, folks. Frank Reich as the head coach, offensive minded, and worked with Carson Wentz before. That's a huge check. You're not going to get that anywhere else, folks. Ron Rivera, defensive guy, no past experience with Carson Wentz, so you're already going worse at that head coaching position. Then, with the Colts, you had T.Y. Hilton, an established potential Hall of Fame wide receiver, and you had Michael Pittman Jr., a big, tall weapon at a number 2 spot that is emerging in this league. Wide receiver depth for Washington, who do we got? You got Terry McLaurin. Real solid work there that Carson Wentz may be able to go with, but who else do we have on Washington besides Terry McLaurin? Let's get this up quickly here. Let's get their depth chart up here, because once again, they are just Carson Wentz is going from a worse wide receiver core than he had in Indianapolis. So here we go. Yeah, we got Terry McLaurin and then Cam Sims and Adam Humphries. They're solid, but it's not T.Y. Hilton and, Michael Pittman Jr. So you're getting worse from the head coaching aspect. You're getting worse from the wide receiver aspect. The offensive line, well, we just had Jonathan Taylor be the rushing king this season because Derrick Henry was out. We always have to put that disclaimer out there. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor was able to run. How many times did Carson Wentz get sacked this season? Can we take a quick look at this? Carson Wentz got sacked 32 times, which is basically the second lowest, the third lowest of his entire career. So, the Colts line was pretty solid overall. Let's see what we got with Taylor Heinicke. How many times did Taylor Heinicke get sacked last season? Once again, ESPN, I'm just always so dumbfounded. Once again, these legacy medias, these older medias not evolving with the times is just so blasphemous, yet they're still at the top of their industry. It makes no sense to me. Can we start getting new talent? Once again, it's the Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz still has a job because of legacy media, folks. It's the same. People love to kind of stick with everybody that's just a name. People love to go with the name. Can we stop with the name? Stop with the name. Find a new name. Can we find new names out here, folks, please? Taylor Heinicke. Let's get how many times he's been sacked up here to truly see if the offensive line is a downgrade. So Carson Wentz with the Colts offensive line got sacked 32 times last season. Taylor Heinicke with this Washington line got sacked 38 times this season. So a little bit worse of an offensive line, Carson Wentz. So worse coach, worse wide receivers, worse offensive line, worse running backs because Jonathan Taylor's fantastic. Antonio Gibson for Washington is still very good. It's a decline. It's a degrade. Not too much, not a drastic degrade, but it is still a degrade, a downgrade. So, worse at wide receiver, worse at head coach, worse at offensive line, worse at running back. Worse at defense. This Washington defense was really kind of trash last season. From 2020 to 2021, it was so much more worse. They downgraded. This Washington team is just on a natural decline. And then you bring in Carson Wentz, who is on his own natural decline. So we got natural decline as a team, natural decline as a quarterback, and you think that 2 declines turn into an upgrade, folks? No. This is not kind of, multiplying multiplying negative numbers where negative numbers cancel each other out. No. 2 downgrades mean a worse downgrade. A downgrade plus downgrade does not mean upgrade, folks. That is not the case here. So everything is worse by Carson Wentz in this Washington team compared to where he came from the Colts, and everybody is still giving him the benefit of the doubt because he throws low numbers of interceptions. I don't get it, folks. He's not good because he doesn't throw interceptions, folks. He doesn't throw touchdowns either. He doesn't even complete passes regardless of who he's throwing to. He doesn't complete the ball. He's not accurate, folks. So, Carson Wentz, going to a worse situation, I don't think it works out. I think Carson Wentz is still trash. We are truly off of Carson Wentz. And what makes it worse for Washington here is that Washington is paying the full $28 million due to Carson Wentz this year, which includes a $5 million roster bonus due next week. So Washington getting the short end of the stick here, not getting any first-round picks, swapping second rounds, and also having to foot the bill of Carson Wentz. You know, I liked Ron Rivera, man, but I don't get this. I don't get this. And you know, once again, we heard from Washington saying, hey, we're doing our due diligence and we're leaving everything open, and Carson Wentz is the guy that you choose. Carson Wentz is the guy that you end up going with here, because we look at the other quarterbacks here. Jimmy Garoppolo's in the mix. I mean, once again, the fact that Washington couldn't get a deal done with the 49ers for Jimmy Garoppolo, that just tells us that maybe Jimmy Garoppolo is actually not getting traded. Once again, everybody thinks that this is a home run, slam dunk. He's 100% guaranteed out, but look what everybody else is saying, and look what the actions are saying, folks. I don't think Jimmy G gets traded this year. I think the 49ers are still gonna be working with him and riding with him this upcoming season, because there's no way you take Carson Wentz over Jimmy G, folks. Is that even a debate? Or would y'all take Carson Wentz over Jimmy G, folks? Is that a thing? I don't think anybody would take Carson Wentz over Jimmy G. But I don't know if that's been kind of propositioned on social media or anything like that. So I don't know y'all's feelings on that. But if you're telling me you take Carson Wentz over Jimmy G, I think you're absolutely out of your gourd. We saw Jimmy G actually be clutch week 18. I mean, it was the same scenario. Both teams needed to win to get in. Carson Wentz floundered against the Jaguars. They were both on the road. None of them had home field advantage in that final week 18 game that they needed to win to secure their playoff berth. Carson Wentz couldn't beat the Jaguars with rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence, interim head coach for only 6 weeks, Urban Meyer demoralizing the entire team, calling them losers 24/7. Carson Wentz couldn't be that team, but Jimmy G goes into the Ram Stadium, the Super Bowl, the future Super Bowl champions in their stadium, down in the game, down at halftime. But what does Jimmy Garoppolo do? He comes back and wins the game. So that alone, I take Jimmy G over Carson Wentz. And then you factor in the injuries, and once again, I take Jimmy G over Carson Wentz. So yeah, Jimmy G. Why did Washington not get Jimmy G? That should be the question here. Instead of talking about LeBron James and the Lakers for the umpteenth time this week, y'all should be talking about investigating and digging in deep. Are the 49ers actually wanting to trade Jimmy Garoppolo? Because I don't think they do, folks. I don't think they do. So I would say don't expect Jimmy Garoppolo to get traded this year. Like Adam Schefter said, this is not a slam dunk, open and shut trade. I don't think it happens anymore, because there's no way that Washington, if what they said is true, hey, we're exploring every avenue here, there's no way that you just settle for Carson Wentz unless not being able to throw for kind of 16 weeks put him off. But at the same time, I still take the shot at Jimmy G. Even Jimmy G not being able to throw for 16 weeks, that's still more impressive to me than Carson Wentz. I'll be able to swallow that. I've got no problem. So, other free agents here, we got Jameis Winston. I take Jameis Winston over Carson Wentz. Mitchell Trubisky, yeah, I take him over Carson Wentz as well, because he was able to learn from Brian Dable. Now we know that Matt Nagy was truly the reason why the Bears were not good. Yes, maybe Mitchell Trubisky didn't do anything to overcome Matt Nagy, but still at the end of the day, Matt Nagy, the head coach, I mean, that's the true big important position. And if you don't got the right guy, you'll hold, great players back. We've seen it before. So, yeah, I take Mitchell Trubisky over Carson Wentz. Marcus Mariota, absolutely. Marcus Mariota needs a second chance in this league to try to become a starter. Once again, he can't get it done with the Raiders because it's Derek Carr's job. Obviously, Derek Carr is really good in this league. So, I wouldn't take Marcus Mariota over Derek Carr. But Marcus Mariota should be able to compete in training camp in the offseason to be a starter. And for Washington, yeah, I get Marcus Mariota over Carson Wentz. Tyrod Taylor, yeah, that one I'm not sure on. It's unfortunate for Tyrod Taylor, but he didn't really do good with the Texans last season coming back, and I understand, the Texans weren't good last season, but Will Culley was still pretty solid. No great wide receivers, but he still made Brandon Cooks work and all that. So Tyrod Taylor, I don't know if I choose him over Carson Wentz. But I also, if it told me I could save $28 million in some draft picks, yeah, maybe I do take him. Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah, I would probably take Teddy Bridgewater over Carson Wentz as well. I would give Teddy Bridgewater probably like a third shot, one more final chance over Carson Wentz. Andy Dalton, no. I would not take Andy Dalton over Carson Wentz. Cam Newton, no. Ryan Fitzpatrick, no, I don't think he's done. He's done. Just a little bit too old. And Joe Flacco, no. Just once again, because they're just a little too old out here. Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Joe Flacco. So at minimum, I've got a decent backup. Carson Wentz can be a backup. Yeah, I take Carson Wentz as a backup. So yeah, I would take Carson Wentz over Ryan Fitzpatrick, Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton, just because of the age factor. If I'm paying $28 million for Carson Wentz, at least I can have him as a backup in case anything happens with my starter. So it's just really interesting that Washington, with Marcus Mariota still out there available, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo still out there available, if he is, that they go with Carson Wentz. Alrighty, and then the thing I want to kind of talk about here on Carson Wentz is, once again, the completion percentage, and once again, just the unclutchability. Obviously, the Colts had to get rid of Carson Wentz. He wasn't, coming in through the clutch. He left a real bad taste in everybody's mouth with the Colts because the Colts were optimistic about Carson Wentz right from the beginning. Colts knew they had a winning squad, seeing what Phillip Rivers was able to accomplish. There was a buzz around the team all offseason. Hey, this is a Super Bowl team. They had Hard Knocks come in because they were so confident. Hey, you can come film us in the middle of the season. Yeah, absolutely, no problem, because we're going to be a really good team, and we want to show people how great we are and kind of show our path a little bit to the Super Bowl. You can't tell me that the Colts were not thinking that they were going to get to the Super Bowl, and that's why they had, hey, Hard Knocks, why don't you come film us? So, all of that, and then you go and flounder Week 18 against the Jaguars. That's why you have to let Carson Wentz go and not give him another chance here, because he did not get it up. So, yes, that Week 18 game, Week 18 game, final game of the season, is absolutely the most jaw-dropping loss here, but we can also trace it back to what was it, the game against Tennessee or the game against the Rams, where Carson Wentz went down and they had to bring in, let me see, Sam Ehlinger. I want to say, was it against, I thought it was against the Rams Week 2. So let's see this quickly here. Because he got injured. He got injured and couldn't play and didn't go into overtime and all of that. So let me see if I can quickly bring up this and find out what actually happened here. Let's go to Sam Ehlinger's game logs. He did not play against the Rams or the Titans. Who played against the Rams or the Titans? We know Carson Wentz went out. He was not able to finish one of those two games. Let me get it here, folks. We'll find it. So let's go here. 24-27. I want to say it was this game right here. Rodrigo Blankenship. Here we go. Passers. Jacob Eason. It was Jacob Eason. All right, yeah, Jacob Eason. They ended up cutting him. They're not bringing him back, but he shouldn't have been there anyway. So Sam Ehlinger, Jacob Eason, they're not. If the Colts still had them both, you got to still upgrade. But yeah, Jacob Eason has to come in and fill in for him Week 2 against the Rams, and they only lost by 3, so not having Carson Wentz on that final potential game-tying or game-winning drive, yeah, that's the game. The Rams took the lead with 2.5 minutes left in the game. Carson Wentz gets injured, little thing with the foot, and he has to go out, and they lose that game because Carson Wentz is not in the game. So Carson Wentz just not being available because of the injuries. You could trace, them not making the playoffs back to that Rams game, the Week 18 game against Jacksonville. But another thing I want to quickly take a look at here, let's take a look at their quality wins, if they have any, and see how Carson Wentz played during those games. Because if you're not playing good against the bad teams, once again, he had 62% completion percentage for the entire season. So how did it look against the good teams? Was he good against the good teams? So here we go. Let's see what happened here. Against the Rams, week 2, we had 64% completion percentage, 247 yards, but still 1 touchdown, 1 pick. One of his 7 picks came in the one of the biggest games of the entire year against the Rams. We knew the Rams were going to be good right from the rip, and they were good kind of right from the rip. So the fact that Carson Wentz threw one of his 7 interceptions that y'all love to brag about in this Rams game, still not being able to close out this game as well, this is why we can't believe in Carson Wentz and why he shouldn't be a starter anymore. Big game here, and he flounders. Against the Titans, 51% completion percentage, under 200 yards, 194 yards, no touchdown, no pick. They lose by 9 points, 2 scores, 2 possessions. Carson Wentz against a good team, 0 of 2 so far. Then he's able to beat the Dolphins. Dolphins didn't really hit their stride until about week 10-ish. Against Baltimore, he loses, but he did throw 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, 71% completion percentage. That was a good game. It still ends up being a loss. 402 yards, only putting up 25 points. There's a disconnect there, a little bit of dink and dunk a little bit. So that didn't, pan out, and that was Carson Wentz being at his best. Still losing. That's not good. Against the 49ers, he wins. Only 150 yards, though. 2 touchdowns, no picks, 65%, but 150 yards, and he puts up 30 points. Do you see where the disconnect is there, folks? It's not Carson Wentz. Everything was good besides Carson Wentz on this team. So you throw 150 yards, you put up 30 points. You put up 30 points. But then you throw for 402 yards, and you only put up 25. So we already know that Carson Wentz was the one that was holding this team back. Against the Titans again, 52% completion percentage, 2 interceptions, losing again against the Titans. Another good team this season. Against Buffalo, they end up winning, but they end up winning 41-15, but he only threw for 106 yards. He only had 55% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, no picks. So even in the games they win against the good teams, it's not Carson Wentz doing so, folks. Against Arizona late in the season, Arizona wasn't really good late in the season, but he had 64% completion percentage. They only win by 6, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Against the Raiders, 148 yards, 59% completion percentage. And then the final game of the season against Jacksonville, 58% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I mean, Carson Wentz is not good. Stop giving him the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't throw interceptions. What is that? What is that? Neither does Aaron Rodgers, and both these quarterbacks aren't winning Super Bowls. So what's the interception note? What does that tell us? It tells us nothing. Take the completion percentage. That tells us something more specific, because I guarantee with Aaron Rodgers, he's at 67, 68 with only 4 or 5 interceptions. Carson Wentz is at 62. Take the completion percentage with the interceptions. That tells a little bit of the bigger picture, not the full story still, but it tells us more of the story than just interception numbers. Stop saying a quarterback is good because they don't throw interceptions. It doesn't make any sense, folks. So, Carson Wentz is absolutely trash, folks. This is what we know. And you know how we know? Well, let's watch all 7 interceptions, yes? Let's see where these interceptions came, yeah? Y'all want to brag about this stat. He doesn't throw interceptions. Well, let's see how he throws these interceptions, what these interceptions look like, in relation to the game scenario, game situation. So here we go. All of Carson Wentz, 7 interceptions here. First one coming against that Rams game that we're talking about, week 2. And it came when they were down 7-3 in the second quarter, 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Carson Wentz just flicks the ball. This is the design play. And remember, we said everybody needs to stop running this play because everybody's figured it out, because everybody runs it. Everything flowing to the right, but then you pitch back at the line of scrimmage. That play, everybody does it now. They all know it's coming. This play needs to die. It had its 1-year run, maybe 1.5, 2 years run, but it's done now. Everybody knows this play is coming, especially when Carson Wentz is doing it, because what else would Carson Wentz be doing? He's not accurate, so he's got to just be shuffle passing to the fullback on just a little bit of a fake play. And Carson Wentz just flings it, and it's an interception right on the goal line, basically. actually, and another reason why they lost against this Rams team. Carson Wentz throws an interception, and Carson Wentz gets injured. That's why they lose against the Rams. So you want to take that? You want that to be your starting quarterback? I'm a little disappointed in Washington, honestly. Defense is not as good as it used to be. Year one with Ron Rivera, year one with Chase Young, and now you bring in this man who's not even a leader. We didn't even get to that. There's people kind of talking from the Colts locker room saying, hey, this man's not even a leader, dude. So what is it with Washington? So disappointed in them. What the hell is this? Why make the trade? So stupid. And once again, with Jimmy G, that's what we're saying. You don't take Jimmy G? You're telling me the Niners don't take that trade? A couple of third-round picks for Jimmy G? Maybe you have to throw in a second-round pick or something? But you're telling me that, the 49ers, who are so adamant on trading Jimmy Garoppolo, that really want him out right now, according to the national media, they want him out right now. They're ready to move off of him for Trey Lance. You don't think they take, like, a couple of third-round picks? Maybe even Washington throws in a second, maybe? So, I just don't, I don't believe it, folks. I can't believe that Washington didn't try and get Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit harder. If they were so adamant, they were adamant, folks. That's what we're saying. That's why we read what everybody says, what they're saying from the organization. They always said they were going to do their due diligence and explore every single possible avenue. But you think they go for Carson Wentz because he's a little bit cheaper than Jimmy Garoppolo? You don't think Washington would splurge a little bit to get Jimmy Garoppolo over Carson Wentz? Garbage? Ugh. So here we go. Second interception against the Titans game. Here they go. They're tied. Tie game. Tie game with the minute 30 left. Here's one of his interceptions that y'all love to brag about here. Here we go. Carson Wentz getting almost sacked in the end zone for a safety, but has a smart idea of just throwing this ball straight up in the air, and instead of 2 points, you give up 7. Either way, it's trash. So even if Carson Wentz didn't throw the interception here, he's still getting sacked, doing a garbage pump fake here that absolutely fakes out nobody. And Carson Wentz gets sacked here, loses the game, or he throws the interception and loses the game. So regardless if he threw the interception or not, he's still losing the game. So all those interceptions that he didn't throw, he was still losing the game. This is why you can't just take interception and have blind faith with interception. At least check the completion percentage, and 62 is not good, folks. That's the lowest of good. We say 62 to 65 is good. Good. So you're right at that cusp of good. That's really not good at the end of the day. So Carson Wentz, second interception there against the Colts. All right, then here we go. Somehow he gets into overtime. Somehow they're able to go down the field, make up for that Carson Wentz interception. So Carson Wentz able to shake it off. All right, that interception is in the past. He was able to make up for it. All right, so he's actually good now, right? Make up for something bad. This makes you good. All right, but now in overtime, Carson Wentz ready to sling another one. Oh, and he threw this ball confidently. Look at Carson Wentz step into this throw and throw an absolute rocket in triple coverage. Wow, so good, folks. So he went from garbage to good, right back down to garbage, unclutch, garbage, trash, confidently throwing interceptions, trash. Here we go, next interception number 4 here. Against the Bucks, up 3 points, 24-21, 5 minutes left in the third quarter, ready to kind of pile on this 3-point lead. Right at midfield, Carson Wentz going deep, underthrows the ball, allows the safety to kind of catch up to it, and picks off Michael Pittman Jr., and he takes it all the way to the 35-yard line. And now Carson Wentz down against the same Bucs team because he threw that interception, down 38-31, 4 seconds left, has to throw up the Hail Mary, and even his Hail Marys get picked off. A Hail Mary that doesn't even make it to the end zone. It makes it to the 2-yard line, and he only threw it from the 45, folks. The Bucks 45, not even his own. So this was like a 40-yard throw. Your big arm is 40 yards? What? His big arm is 40 yards, folks. So you don't even have the big arm. You're not clutch. Your decision making is trash. Your accuracy is trash. Okay, you don't throw any interceptions. We're supposed to love Carson Wentz because he doesn't throw any interceptions. Oh my goodness. It's just so trash. I don't understand why everybody is still buying into Carson Wentz. Here we go. Another interception here. Threw it in triple coverage. They're up 20-7, beating the Patriots. He can't even just be a game manager for the rest of the game here, folks. This is pretty much a game win right here. You're up 20-7 at the start of the fourth quarter. Yeah, game kind of over, but you keep the Patriots in the game by throwing into triple coverage again. Once again, confidently throwing in triple coverage. Trash. Trash. They end up losing this game against the Patriots. They end up losing this game against the Patriots. Let me see. Against the Patriots. Here we go. Week 15. They end up winning. All right. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. At least Carson Wentz didn't beef this game. Didn't bungle this game. All right. What else do we get, Carson? Let's see these remaining one interceptions. Here we go. Next one up. The last one against Jacksonville. Here we go. Against Jacksonville. Can we get this off here? Here we go. Against Jacksonville. Down 16-3. Down 16-3 against Jacksonville. How funny. 7 minutes left in the third quarter and throws an interception, underthrown ball. The man does not have an arm anymore. The man has Ben Roethlisberger arm at, how old is he? He has Ben Roethlisberger arm at only 29 years old. Oh, good luck, Washington. Hope that old ass arm works out for you. The old ass, unclutch, short as heck arm. Hope it works out for you. So, and it's so funny here, folks. We'll end it here. This is how funny it is. The Washington Commanders' odds of winning the Super Bowl before the Carson Wentz trade were at plus 5,000. Now, their Washington Commanders' odds after acquiring Carson Wentz, plus 5,000. Carson Wentz is a null point, a mute point, a non-factor in everything. I'm surprised the odds didn't go down. On my sportsbook, they went down. I have them before the trade at plus 5,000. After the trade, it's at plus 10,000. There's no worse odds than plus 10,000, folks. That's the worst odds ever. They don't go lower than plus 10,000. So Carson Wentz is absolutely garbage. I'm severely disappointed in Washington for making this trade, for thinking this was a good idea. And once again, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo isn't actually up for sale anymore. Yes, because why did this deal not get done? That would have been the perfect fit for Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo didn't want to go to Washington. That could be the case there, because we do know that the 49ers are working with Jimmy Garoppolo to send him somewhere that he does want to go. So maybe that's the case, but if I was Washington, I would have made them an offer they couldn't refuse, and they would have had to do Jimmy G a little bit dirty, but it's a business. It would have been unfortunate, but it would have been better than this. It would have been better than Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz, now a member of Washington, folks. I feel sorry for the Washington fans. How unfortunate. Everything's starting to kind of look up, and it all goes down just like that. Alrighty. So, that is going to do it for us today, folks. We did not get to Russell Wilson, but we can save that, no problem. That will be coming tomorrow when we have a little bit of extra time in the show. But we had to talk about this Carson Wentz because it just makes no sense to me, and it's trash, but that's what it is. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, doing it all again. Getting to Russell Wilson, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully getting to that draft prospect rookie quarterback as well, to see if the Seahawks are truly going to go after him, to see if maybe we can find the Seahawks winning the trade if Malik Willis does pan out. So that is all coming up tomorrow. The investigation continues tomorrow on who won the trade, the Seahawks or the Broncos. That's coming up tomorrow, folks. Alrighty, so make a little bit of money tonight in the NBA. We got the Nets minus 4.5. Loving that, or not the Nets, jeez Louise. The 76ers minus 4.5 tonight. Loving that. So make a little bit of money in the NBA tonight. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, doing it all over again. So hopefully you'll join us. Have a great one, and we will see you then, folks. We are